If you're currently using a good mind-numbing scroll to distract yourself from your anxiety, whether that's tightness in your chest, a racing heart, or just overthinking thoughts, I'm going to share why this is actually making your anxiety worse and what to do instead. I know in the moment a good scroll could feel like you're distracting yourself from your anxiety. This app is so highly addictive. It's so easy to just get sucked in and get out of your head for a minute. But the problem is you're not really releasing or relieving your anxiety. You're simply just suppressing it, moving it down into your nervous system, down into your subconscious mind. When you never really move through those anxious thoughts or feelings, they're always going to come back. This is why you can sometimes have a random panic attack when you're doing something not stressful like shopping, or even worse, when you try to relax. This is because your body, your mind will think, we're finally not in that fight or flight, high arousal, high anxiety state. Now we can deal with all of those emotions, everything that we've been suppressing down for so long. Think of your body like a pressure cooker. If you just keep suppressing, distracting yourself, not dealing with those emotions, it's eventually going to burst. So what do you do instead? You need to learn to move through your anxiety, and there are many ways to do this, but essentially you want to accept your anxiety. What you accept, you transcend. What you keep resisting will continue to persist. One super simple tool you could try right now is, can you imagine that anxious thought, that anxious feeling like an old friend, like someone you love unconditionally? And can you imagine just hugging that emotion, just accepting that emotion? You're not amplifying it or giving it meaning, simply just acknowledge it. My client gave me a really beautiful example of this. She's highly anxious herself, and she realized she does this with her daughter, but not for herself. They were at the park and her daughter's friend wasn't playing with her, so she came crying all upset. And in that moment, she just gave her daughter a hug. She didn't get upset with her. She didn't say, okay, let's go home. She didn't say, you have to play. We're at the park. She just accepted that her daughter was upset and gave her a hug in that moment. In that moment, her daughter's emotions were just accepted. They weren't being made right or wrong, good or bad. She was just accepted in that moment. And through that, she was able to move through her emotions. She eventually did feel better and continue to play. How can you be this unconditionally loving parent to yourself and your own emotions, your own anxieties when they come up throughout the day? Can you practice not making them good or bad, right or wrong, but simply just accept them, notice them, acknowledge them, and imagine giving yourself that emotional hug. Tell yourself, it's okay. I am enough. It might sound so simple, but through doing this, you'll notice that tightness begin to loosen, that heaviness begin to get lighter, and that anxiety just begin to loosen its grip on you. Through practicing this, you're going to learn to control your anxiety versus your anxiety constantly controlling you. Let me know in the comments if this helped, and head over to my Instagram if you want to learn more about using hypnotherapy and other natural tools to relieve anxiety permanently.